A psychiatrist did a study, and he was talking about how his patients reacted when they got information that they were going to die immediately. He said that many of these patients that had gone through years of therapy that should have been making decisions about their careers, or about their marriage, or about their circumstances, and somehow or another they were stuck and didn't have the personal power or the wherewithal or the willpower to act in their own best interest. But when they were told, listen, you've got 3 months to live, or you got 6 months to live, all of a sudden these people who were initially victims or powerless, all of a sudden they started acting in their own best interest. They started living their lives. And it's amazing to me that what a paradox, that once people are told they're going to die, all of a sudden they start seeing the daisies in life. They start seeing the beauty in life. I remember it's a monologue, and it's called The Last Mile. It's a monologue about a guy who was sentenced to die in the electric chair for a crime that he did not commit. And he was pleading to the jury to understand his case. And I remember one of the parts of the monologue where this guy talking to the jury and talking to himself and going the whole gamut of emotion. And I remember something he said that struck me right now. He said, he said, it's queer, ain't it? How even though life has done you wrong, somehow you still want to live. He said, you never again find me complaining about life has given me a short deal. No. I just want to live. I take the park benches, the crumbs, anything. I just want to live. But they're not going to let me, are they? All of a sudden, this guy who before, from Sloats Corner, Indiana, never really cared about life, all of a sudden, now that he knew that his life was going to be taken away for a crime that he did not commit, he wanted to live. It's a very passionate, powerful monologue. I used to read that quite often and study that. So what is it that we can begin to do? Do we have to get a pronouncement that we only have 6 months to live in order to decide to live? In order to live in a spirit of integrity? See, most of us go through life living a lie. The Platters had a song. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. What a beautiful voice. Oh, don't faint. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Whew. Now I hit that note, it just gives me a chill. But anyhow, that many of us go through life being great pretenders. We should get an Academy Award. Pretending that we're happy. Pretending that we're content. Pretending that everything's happy and gay and carried away. And that's not the way that it is. Going through life feeling that we can't do anything about our situation like Joe did. But when they told Joe he was going to die, Joe became a new person, went back to work, and a young lady he'd been wanting to talk to for a long time, he said, hey, I want to take you out. He wasn't worried about rejection. Joe had his eyes on her. He said, Lord is my shepherd, I'll see what I want. Old Joe said, I might be going, but I ain't dead yet. He wanted a little bit more living. You hear me? I like that, Joe. Don't lose that. Don't lose that. All right, so here's what I think that we can begin to do. To live our dreams. To begin to let life take on some new meaning for us, some new power and some new value. Is to begin to look for the daisies in your life right now where you are. Regardless of what's happening to you, regardless of what's going on with you, begin to look for some beauty in it. Begin to look for some lessons that you can learn from where you are and what you're going through. See, the volcano. See, when Joe jumped into the volcano, and he eventually did that with a young lady that fell in love with him, they were thrown out of the volcano and they survived. Think about that. Now, see, I think that when you decide to take a leap, and you handle the challenges that you're facing. Read something about fear. That's one of the things that keeps us from beginning to live life. Here's what happened. This guy, John Rogers, wrote that. He said, when people take the courage to journey into the center of their fear, they find nothing. It is only many layers of fear being afraid of itself. And Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I've lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you cannot do. See, that's what the volcano is. It is the thing that we cannot do. And because it is that, we must do that. Once fear is acted upon, the death of fear is certain. So what volcano you have in your life? Let me ask you some questions here. If you had 6 months to live, what would you do differently with your life? What would you do differently? Would you have the same job? Would you be worried about things that you're worried about right now? Would you have the same relationships? Would you have the same people in your life?